She came every night at 11:11, until one day she never came back. Rain was falling hard over Chicago. The streets were almost empty. Inside a small late-night cafe near the train station, Ethan wiped down tables while staring at the clock. 11:10 p.m. Every night at exactly 11:11, she came in. Same black hoodie, same quiet face, same order. Vanilla latte, extra hot. And every single night, she sat alone near the window. Ethan didn't even know her name, but somehow she became part of his life. At first, he thought it was coincidence, then a habit, then something he secretly waited for every day. 11:11 became the favorite moment of his entire life. The cafe door opened. The little bell rang. 11:11 p.m. She walked in. Rainwater dripped from her sleeves as she removed her hood. Beautiful brown eyes, tired smile, and sadness Ethan could never understand. The usual? Ethan asked softly. She nodded. The usual. A few minutes later, Ethan placed the coffee on her table. She looked up at him for a second. Thanks. It was probably the 10th word she had ever spoken to him, but for some reason, it mattered. A lot. That night, the rain became worse. Thunder shook the windows. The power suddenly went out. The entire cafe went dark. One customer cursed and left. Another used a flashlight on his phone. But the girl near the window just sat quietly. Ethan lit a candle and placed it on her table. The warm light reflected in her eyes. And for the first time, she smiled. Yes, we survived the apocalypse, Ethan joked nervously. She laughed softly. A real laugh. Not fake, not polite. Ethan's heart almost stopped. I'm Ethan, he finally said. She looked at the candle flame for a moment before answering. Lily. That was the beginning. After that night, things slowly changed. Lily started talking more. Not a lot. Just little things. She liked old music. She hated crowded places. She loved rainy nights. And she always carried a small notebook everywhere she went. Sometimes she wrote in it for hours. Sometimes she just stared at empty pages. Ethan wanted to ask what was inside that notebook, but something told him not to. Some wounds speak without words. Weeks passed, then months. And somehow, Ethan started timing his entire life around 11:11 p.m. If another worker asked him to switch shifts, he refused. If friends invited him somewhere, he made excuses. Nothing mattered more than seeing Lily walk through that cafe door. One night she arrived crying. Not loudly. Silent tears. The dangerous kind. Ethan immediately walked over. Hey, are you okay? Lily wiped her eyes quickly. Yeah, that's definitely not a yes. She looked down at her coffee. My mom used to bring me here. Ethan stayed quiet. She passed away last year. The cafe suddenly felt colder. Lily forced a smile. We used to come every Friday night at exactly 11:11. Ethan finally understood. That time meant something. This cafe meant something. She always ordered vanilla lattes, Lily whispered. Ethan sat across from her slowly. For the first time, Lily didn't seem like a mystery anymore. She just seemed lonely, and loneliness recognizes loneliness. After that night, everything between them became deeper. They walked together after closing time. They shared fries at 2 a.m. diners. They argued about movies. They laughed at stupid strangers on the subway. And slowly, without realizing it, they fell in love. Not dramatic love, not movie love, real love. The kind that grows quietly, the kind that feels safe. One snowy night, Ethan finally asked the question he had been terrified to ask. What's in the notebook? Lily froze. For a second, Ethan thought he had ruined everything. Then slowly, she handed it to him. Inside were letters, hundreds of them, some short, some long, some messy from tears. Every single one was addressed to someone named Dad. Ethan looked up carefully. I thought you said your mom passed away. She did. And your dad? Lily looked away toward the falling snow outside. He left when I was 9. Silence filled the space between them. I spent years writing letters to him, she whispered. Why? Because if I stopped writing, it would feel real. Ethan didn't know what to say, so instead, he held her hand, and that was enough. A few days later, Ethan closed the cafe late and walked Lily home. The city lights reflected on wet streets. Cold air surrounded them. Lily suddenly stopped walking. What? Ethan asked. She looked nervous. Do you ever feel like happy things don't stay? Ethan smiled softly. Only every day. No, seriously. I am serious. Lily stared at him, then quietly said, I'm scared to lose this. Ethan stepped closer. You won't. But life here's promises like challenges. 3 weeks later, Lily stopped coming. 11:11 p.m. came and went. No Lily. Ethan checked his phone every 5 minutes. Nothing. The next night, still nothing. Then another, and another. The cafe suddenly felt empty. Dead. Every sound annoyed him. Every customer irritated him, because none of them were her. On the 6th night, Ethan finally received a message. From Lily. I'm sorry. That was it. No explanation. Nothing. Ethan called immediately. No answer. Again. No answer. Again. Straight to voicemail for the first time in months. 11:11 meant pain. Days passed, then 2 weeks. Ethan barely slept, barely ate. His co-workers noticed. His boss noticed. But he didn't care. Because somewhere in this city, Lily was hurting, and he couldn't reach her. One freezing night, Ethan was about to close the cafe when he noticed something outside the window. A girl standing across the street. Black hoodie, hands in pockets. Lily. Ethan ran outside instantly. Rain hit his face as he crossed the street. Lily! She looked exhausted, eyes red from crying. Ethan stopped in front of her. Where were you? Lily tried speaking but broke down crying instead. Ethan hugged her immediately. For a long moment, neither of them said anything. Finally, she whispered, My dad contacted me. Ethan pulled back slightly. What? He's sick. The words barely came out. He found me after years. Because he's dying. Ethan felt his anger disappear instantly. Lily looked shattered. I didn't know what to do. So you disappeared? I was scared. Of what? That if I let you close enough, you'd leave too. Ethan looked at her like she had just broken his heart and healed it at the same time. I'm not him, Lily. She cried harder. I know. Cars passed behind them. Rain poured around them, but neither moved. Then Ethan reached into his jacket pocket. He pulled out her notebook. Lily looked shocked. You left it here weeks ago. She stared at it silently. I never read the last page, Ethan said. Lily slowly opened it. The final letter wasn't addressed to her father. It was addressed to Ethan. Her hands trembled. Ethan watched quietly as she read the words she had written weeks ago. I think I finally found someone who feels like home. Lily covered her mouth as tears streamed down her face. Ethan stepped closer. You did? For a second, the entire world disappeared. No rain, no noise, no pain, just them. Then Lily kissed him, slowly, honestly, like someone finally choosing happiness after years of sadness. And under the glowing streetlights of Chicago, at exactly 11:11 p.m., neither of them felt alone anymore. Some people don't stay forever, but they change your life at exactly the right time. like she did at 11:11.